the men that are not being fair and tell them to sit down. All right. So you're going to do what I say, not what I do. I'm going to give an example. You're going to kind of try it with me. Let's see how it works, and then we'll do the actual activity. Mr. Headley, touch your head, was needed, touch your knee, touch your knees, in the army with a forward and a backward, hip, hip, on your hips, hooray. Let's do that again. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward, hip, hip, hooray. I won't be going slow like this all the time. I just want you to get it, all right? Okay, let's go. Mr. Headley? Okay. So lots of you can't follow instruction. You would sit down, all right? You got it? Okay, no, stand, you're good. All right, so remember the instructions. Do as I say, not as I do. Ladies, look out for the little cheaters. No, we don't have them in here. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Okay, those who are not following instructions. That's a better term. Okay, let's go. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward. Okay, if you touched your knee, please sit. Okay, let's go again. Mr. Headley was needed. If you raise your hand, sit down. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward, hip, hip, hooray. Mr. Headley? Mr. Headley
Please.
Was needed in the army. Okay. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. Hip, hip. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. Hip, hip. Hooray. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. Hip, hip. Hooray. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. Hip, hip. Did you raise your hand? Did you do that? No? Yeah? Okay, how many people we have left standing? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. Let's 4. Okay. You're not seeing me. But you're listening. That's good. Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. Hip, hip, hooray! Mr. Headley was needed in the army with a forward and a backward. All right, give him a hand. All right. And we have some goodies for you. You want to come claim your prizes?
We're all ready for winter now. You got a cap. Yee, that's for the last day. Maybe a clipper's here. Need a haircut. We'll give haircuts outside. Free haircuts. Buzz cut. Eh? Everybody's first haircut was a buzz cut by their uncle. Alrighty, gentlemen, we're gonna continue on here with the agenda. We got our next speaker is Rod Thomas, Roots of Residential School Impacts One Man's Struggle. So I know we've got a couple chairs here set up for Rod Thomas. He's making his way. You're going to hear the story of his struggle throughout the residential school. And once we get him up here, we'll get him to introduce himself. Test. Alrighty, gentlemen, let's welcome him to the stage here, Rod Thomas, all the way from Larange, from South End Reindeer Lake.
I'll use that. I'll use that.
Abato Wito, no? Abato Wito. Abata Wito Wanok. Tapwe. Aho. So the extent of my Cree.
I'm sorry, I had to say a little prayer. That's what I do when I speak to people. So I always use the right words and not hurt anybody or abuse, eh? Because sometimes some people misunderstand. By the way, the people that don't know me, I'm from South End. I'm one of the elders. I'm only 88, young man. Thank you. And I was married. We were blessed with 6 children, 5 girls, 1 boy. But my wife passed away a couple months ago. Now I'm not very strong. Like when my wife died, my aunt left me. So, and I believe in that as a native elder. Because I was taught by my grandfathers, my family, and unfortunately, my dad passed away quite a few years ago, and so was my own family. My dad married twice. My stepmother passed away, and all my stepsisters, my stepbrothers. I'm the only one that's tough enough to live. One time. So, see, on this agenda, see right here, Rod Thomas, you can't see him. You know why? Because I'm a spirit. Yeah. So, okay, when I In the 30s, there was an epidemic, and I lost my mother when I was a baby. And one of my grandmothers, two of my grandfathers at that time, that's just my family. But there was a lot of people died that time in the 30s. And I thank this man for strengthening me beside me. I just met him this morning. And my dad was an alcoholic. He died from it too. And so I had a son. 2 years ago, they found him froze to death in Thompson. So that's two of my family that died from alcoholism. And I'm an alcoholic myself. But I drank for 41 years. 41 years. I became an alcoholic when I hit the city in Winnipeg. So from the trap line to a city life was pretty hard. I became an alcoholic. I ended up in the street in Winnipeg. No home, sleeping in the bush, in old cars, hungry, bumming on the street for money. I didn't think about my hunger when I got maybe $10, Right to the liquor store. That's what I did first. That's what an alcoholic is. But thank God, the Spirit had talked to me when I was in the trap line. He said, there's a good life. And this life you're living is not your life. But do something about your drinking. So I listened to the angel or the Spirit that spoke to me. And next morning I had my breakfast, gassed up my skidoo, and came to South End. And I went to see the AA counselor. I told him I need help. I have to go to a center. So he sent me to Saskatoon, and that's where I took my program. And I finished my program, came home. Thank God, that's 35 years ago. I'm still sober. Now I'll tell you about my residential school experience. See, when my mother died, I never knew my mother. But so I guess my grandmother couldn't look after a baby. So they sent me to residential school in Sturgeon Landing. I was just a baby, 3 years old, and he sent me there. Of course, there was two other orphans, one from Pelican, one from South End. So I had company. We didn't go to classes. We just eat, play, and sleep. But the next year we went to a kindergarten. And that's when I started. I was there 9 years in the residential school. And when we used to fly from South End to Sturgeon Landing, which was an hour and a half flight, and just a baby. When I got off over there, seeing those dark-dressed nuns, and the priest, oh, never forget that experience. I was so scared, you know. So I was sent from my loving dad, my loving community, to residential school, well, to a strange place, strange people. What an experience, a baby. So anyway, we went to resident and we went to kindergarten after 1 year, and I was there 9 years. And I never experienced love, never. Because those nuns never told us, I love you, eh? I love you. I never heard that. Because those nuns had never had children. And later on, I learned he had, you know, he had children, but he destroyed them. You know, lots of things I learned after I left residential school. And I was abused so much. I was abused sexually, mentally, orally, physically. I woke up one morning with two big black eyes. The priest had hit me with his fist, you know, kicked my ass because I couldn't walk on the cement with my skates on. I just came from the skating rink, and he kicked my ass, and so, and then I went around with my two big black eyes, and I was ashamed because there were so many. There was 300 children when I went there the last time. There was 170 girls. Oh, talk about beautiful girls, you know. And see, so anyway, you know, all that experience, that was my native way of life was taken away. They tried to take away my language, which is Cree. Why? Kapit needs the one. I can speak fluently in Cree. I'd like to speak that, but there's a little different to speak here, like not like South and Pelican and Stanley Mission. That's how we speak up north, and a little different here, but I can understand. And so when I went out after the residential school, I couldn't even speak English. My English was so poor, I used to call it broken English. But I took up grading in the fall, and I took social skills in Winnipeg. I was there 8 years in Winnipeg. I lived the city life, which was very different from the strap line to a city life. And I left by dog team from the strap line to Quail Point, and I camped there. That was a day's travel with the dogs. And then from Quail Point, I went to Lynn Lake. My uncle was over there. And I put my dog team in the train, got off at Paginawagan. As my grandfather was from Paginawagan and my grandmother, so I knew people, I was related. Then I told my dad, well, I'm leaving South End, and I left when I was 23, I was just a young man. I'm leaving South End. I want to see the world besides South End. So, and I was gone 34 years from South End. So that's why people didn't know me. They thought I was from a different community. I told them I was born in South End. I was raised in South End. I had a hell of a life, I tell you. People were abusing me, and young children, they used to throw rocks in my home, breaking my windows, my doors. And, but anyway, all this abuse that really ruined my life, the residential school. And the one thing I missed was love. My mother died when I was a baby. Nobody to hug me, to kiss me, tell me, son, I love you. Never heard that. Still I don't. I'm 88 now, and nobody tells me I love you, except this guy here. Sure. It's, see, it says here that the roots of the residential school and one man's struggle. No, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm still struggling now in my life because of what I went through in residential school. Even in my hometown, I'm still abused. But as an elder, an understanding elder, I follow my ancestors' ways of life. Because I believe in my native way, and I live my native way of life, even though I live like the white people. I have a house, everything in the house. I drive vehicles, and the most thing I did follow the white man's way was drinking. It almost ruined my life, I'll tell you. But the Spirit had told me, there's a better life, that's the sober life. And I listened to the Spirit. I guess that's why my picture, you can't see it, because I'm a spirit. So I wrote down what I wanted to say about the residential school, what it did to me. I lost my, I almost lost my, how do you say that, culture, tradition, But if I could walk, I'd still be out in the bush, trapping, fishing, hunting. And they try to take away that native way of life. We were punished. If you spoke Cree, you were punished. They tried to take our language too. But we used to speak Cree when we were out in the yard. They couldn't stop us. And I speak fluently in my language, Cree. And I speak fluently in English, so I can translate English to Cree to English. I'm pretty good at it. And see, what they did to me in residential school, what I've learned there, and I thank them, was respect. You know, oh, they taught us a lot of respect, and I still have that. Because if you didn't, you were punished. You were punished most of the time anyway. Even if you did right, you were still punished. So that's, you know, but I was a very good student, and I'm an artist. I paint pictures on canvas, and I sell them. That's a gift I got from God the Father, and I still have a lot of pictures at home, which I want to sell. I was going to bring some, but I didn't have time to frame my work. So, you know, and there was one thing too. They taught us to pray. I still pray a lot. Before I get up from my bed to hit the floor, I pray first and then get up and enjoy the day. You know, the church used to be 7 o'clock in the morning in the school. And if you didn't get up, you know what the nun did? He'd come, splash you with ice water, pull the blankets off, cold water. Yeah, you had to get up, eh? So that's the kind of treatment I had in my residential school. And it's too bad I forgot. There was a lot of things that I wrote there that would be good for all of us, you know, because this is a story of all of us that were in the survivors that were in the residential school. See, we went through so much. I was sexually abused. The priest used to call me in his office and used to touch me where he had no business, eh? And I had erection. Huh. See, that's the kind of treatment. And, you know, I guess the girls, their part, it was worse with the girls. So being 16-year-old that time in 1948, 49, there was five of us boys. We decided to go and visit the girls in their dormitory. So how we got there was a ladder and there was an attic, eh? So we put the ladder up in the attic and went through the attic to the girls' dormitory. And we jumped down in there. You know, oh boy, did they ever have fun. You know, he made them so excited, you know, to see boys like in their dormitory. Man, I got So we got caught. After 5 nights, we got caught. One of the boys went downstairs to see his girlfriend because she was babysitting for her cousin, a little girl baby. And as soon as he opened the door, the alarm went. Oh, I jumped out of bed, Because now we're going to get caught. Now we just get caught. So, and to see those beautiful girls every day for 9 months, you want to hug them, kiss them, but you couldn't touch them. You couldn't, because they told us it was a sin, to touch a girl, it was a sin. And to hug them, kiss them. So, and then that year, I graduated grade 8. And so they told me I was going to high school in the Lebret. That was the only high school at that time, Lebret. Oh, I was happy because, see, flying from South End to Sturgeon Landing, I was vaccinated in flying, you know. So when they told me I'm going to high school, oh, my dream would come true, I wanted to be a bush pilot. That was my dream. So I was supposed to go with the school children when they flew out to residential school, and I go to Lebret. Never happened. I waited. September went, October. So I went to see the priest in South End. And I said, Father, I'm supposed to go to high school. Oh, I said, remember your bad boy? So I sat there, start thinking, what did I do so wrong to be deprived of my high school? I couldn't think of nothing, except that visit to the girls. So I told Father, I didn't do nothing wrong except that visit to the girls. Ah, here you go. He said that. Oh, I was so mad. I just went out. I got, I ended up in the trap line again. I had to. So that's what the residence school did to my life. They deprived me of my high school, which was my career supposed to be. I wanted to be a bush pilot because I was vaccinated in flying. But they deprived me. Well, I'm still a pilot in my heart. Yeah. And I'm a very religious person. I thank God every day for my life. And so they ruined a lot of my way of life as residential. What the nuns did and the priest. I think it would have been very, I don't know which word to use, but if we were, the quality of all people concerned would have been good if they had taught us the education they're supposed to. But when I went out of school, they never taught us how to get a job, write a resume, things like that. See, I had to learn from experience. My first job when I left South End was I worked in the railway, but my wife didn't like the railway life. So I quit and I went to work for Department of Highways. And I didn't know nothing about looking for a job or writing a resume. I had a hell of a time. I had to learn from experience, and I had a job. So I quit the Department of Highways and I went to work in the mine. And then I got fired because of my my drinking. I missed so much. So they let me go. I got fired. But next day I got a job, housing construction. And that's how I ended up in Winnipeg. These guys I worked with, they had the same job, same pay, they told me, and I had to go to Winnipeg. So I phoned my wife, she didn't want to go. So I went, and I ended up in Winnipeg, you know. And then I missed my work too because of my drinking. So so that's where residence school led me, you know, to my alcoholic life. Because when I drank, I felt I could do anything, but I was wrong. I ended up in the hospital a lot of times, being beaten up, and in jail, a lot of times in jail. That's what alcoholic can do. And I got fired so much. So finally, I didn't come home. I didn't come home to South End, but I ended up there again after 34 years. I ended up in South End. And I thought I'd retire, but I get second thoughts because of the abuse I have in my hometown. That reminds me of something maybe a lot of you know. See, I always think of our Savior, Jesus. He was abused so much in his own hometown. They finally crucified him. They killed him. And that's what I'm abused so much in my home. And I always think of that. Excuse me. I know it's not my girlfriend. Hello? Hello? I don't know. Well, no, it's the wrong one. uh, so, see, that's too bad I forgot. I've written down what affected me in my residential school, and what helped. You know, it wasn't so bad. And I started thinking back with all that abuse I had and never heard love too, eh? Those nuns couldn't love because they didn't have children. No. And the priest, they never told us, I love you. Never. So I think a lot of times of my mom that never knew because she died when I was a baby. So it's quite a, like it says here, the struggle, eh? The struggle I had in life. And there's quite a bit. But there's one story I'm going to tell you. In my drinking days, so my cousin was Max Chubb from Manitoba somewhere. So his wife was pregnant, and she was supposed to go. This happened in the railway, in the station. So she was supposed to go to the paw to have her baby. And she went to Lynn Lake to get some booze. We were drinking, partying. And she got off at the station. And then there was only five people. And there was my cousin, one woman, my cousin. So the woman said, an hour after she got off, she said, oh, I'm having pains. Holy man. So I went and got my cousin and I told her the woman's going to have a baby. Oh no, she said, I've never been a midwife. Oh, I said, feeling good, eh? I was feeling good. But we were having a party. I said, don't worry, I'll help you. I know what to do. And I didn't know. I just used to hear my stepmother talk about delivering, you know. So I encouraged her. She came. So we sterilized the water, we sterilized the thread, the scissors, and fixed the bed for the woman. And then the woman said, the baby's coming. We lost our nurse. So I went and looked for her there. She was holding a cup, shaking. I said, come on, the baby's coming. So we got to the bedroom. Baby was born, eh? So I told her not to tie the cord too long from the baby. And cut it in half, you know. And so I took the baby to clean it up. And I told her to look after the woman, you know. So I was cleaning the baby. All of a sudden, the pregnant woman, here's another one. Holy smoke. I just dropped the baby. I went to her aid. We expected just one, one baby. But we delivered twins that time. Twins. what a, but I was feeling good, and then we partied after. And one of the boys, he went to Paganawagan, which was 24 miles, from the station, 24 miles. He never got there. He went to get the nurses, to deliver. But we did the job. We cleaned the babies. The woman was all right. The only thing we had a hard time was that afterbirth. So I had an idea. We put pillows in the bag, and then it worked. So we had everything cleaned up. The woman, the babies were all wrapped up, and the nurses came. They checked the babies. They checked the woman. Everything was fine. So They used to call me Dr. Thomas after that. But I thank my cousin. She did most of the work, but I was there to encourage her. Right? Yeah, it was quite a time. And then we celebrated after, you know. So I started thinking, like we saved 3 lives that time. 3. The twins and the woman, you know. Because if she had gone on the train, I wonder if anybody would have looked after her on the train, you know. So it was God's will that she got off at the station, you know. So we saved 3 lives that time. Lots of things happened when I was drinking. And I'll tell you a little story too. You know, did you ever hear anybody wrestling with a bear? Here's the guy that wrestled with the bear. You know, me and my brother-in-law were calling moose, and he was at the point, and I sat more to the bush. You know, and I heard noises, but all that was in my mind was the moose. You know? So, and I sat on a rock like this, and there was a log here, you know, beside me, and so I put my rifle there and I listened for the moose. All of a sudden, I heard the twig break. I was going like this. He was right on top of me already, like that, eh? He was looking at me, and I looked. So what I did, I got up. He got up, and what he did, he held me like this, right here, and I held him like that too. And I thought he never puffed or growled. So I thought, well, if he starts attacking me, what am I going to do? And my brother-in-law is over there quite a distance. So I thought I'd go down and holler. So I went down and hollered, right? And he slapped me. And I went sprawling, you know, and he slapped me in my back, and stood up, and he was standing right here. You know. It was quite a time before my brother-in-law shot him. So I grabbed my rifle and I took a shot at him, you know. Well, I guess we didn't hit him, we checked. But I don't know how many people believe that it was a spirit bear. Because he never growled, he never puffed, nothing. He was so silent. And then when we got in the boat, my brother-in-law said, let's go home. I said, we'll never see nothing, but you hollered so loud, eh? And then when we got to the lake, I started to get scared. That's why I say it was a spirit bear. But my spirit was stronger. See? So we went home, and my sister said, why you back so soon? Well, I say he was wrestling with a bear. And so that, and she didn't believe, but I showed her the cloth where the bear had, and they hit me in the back. So I thank you, my people, for listening. I'm glad I came here, you know, to share some of my experience in residential school and what I did in my alcoholic life. You know? But I've been sober 35 years now. Yeah. So, my people, I thank you and hope you have a nice day all these 4 days that we're going to be here. And I'm glad I came and I met some of you already and my friend here. I thank him. So have a good day. God bless you. Thank you.
Test. Mr. Rod Thomas Masicho, thank you. Thank you. Hi, hi. Good job. I was trying to get your attention. Alrighty, gentlemen, let's give him another round of applause here. 35 years of sobriety, residential school survivors, and he's still got lots of funny stories in him. So, Masicho Rod Thomas. And with that, we're going to go on to have lunch. It is 12 o'clock right now. And, we're going to get Dwayne Lazaz. I believe he's going to play some music here for us. Dwayne, yep. And then we're going to have lunch as soon as we're ready, when I'm told 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. So with that, we'll take a 10-minute break. And then once you come back in, we're going to have lunch. I'm sure everybody's hungry. And we've got a message from Mr. Leon Crookedneck. He is a chief of Minnesota, and he sends his best wishes. He could not be here this today because they're MLTC. They're making some deals out in Saskatoon, I believe. Said, we're going to be rich, he said. Hey, we're going to make this bigger next year. Once this deal goes through, put my signature. So with that, Mr. Dwayne Lazaz is going to entertain us here. We are Facebook Live right now. We're going to be cutting off in a bit if anybody is watching as we break here for lunch. And then we'll bring it back on at 1 o'clock p.m. Masicho Saladina. It's been a beautiful morning. Lots of good stuff here. Shout out to the ladies in the back there to make everything possible. Get out all the gifts. The food ready, the cooks. They're working away since early this morning. We had breakfast, and then we're going to have lunch, fried chicken. Everybody loves fried chicken. It's not from KFC, though. I apologize. Yeah. The elders this morning, they got up bright and early. And then bright and early to smoke the pipe. And then the CBC wants to do a couple interviews. So they want some Dene and Cree. If anybody is interested, go speak to the ladies in the back at the registration room. Yeah, sign up. Just talk to them in the back there. So they'll take names. So if you're interested, they would like Dene and Cree, Métis, all of the above. That's what I check off. I used to be Métis, but now I'm First Nations. So with that, Mr. Dwayne Lazaz here, serenade us with his beautiful voice.
1, 2. How does that sound, my friend? Where's he? Where's the sound guy? All right. This is a song that I wrote just shortly after my nephew commits suicide, so it became my healing song. This song is requested by Vice Chief DeRocher. So this is to you and your family, and also to the rest of the people out there. This is a song I wrote. I call it Nagtintok. Means take care of each other. And it says the words it's all in Cree, and it talks about the Creator loves us all, and we need to stand with each other. We cannot be alone. We have to help each other. and not to speak evil amongst yourselves, but instead help out your fellow man always. And that's what this song is all about. It's about taking care of each other. It's sung in Cree. Some of you will understand what I'm singing. But this is what it's all about. It's all about what we're doing here together. So this is the song I wrote. It's on Facebook, and it has over 27,000 views so far. So it's really going. I even had some people from France say they didn't understand the words, but they understood the music, and it was recorded in 4/3/2. So here it goes. You hear that okay? Mambo tauno, kisage kanut, kage sumoin, kapaspigano, akamemo, kasagi, kanagati meto pina, sukanuma. Sage tuin the kaya wika much a biggest way. Know what's sweet to heart. Get out singing the kaya wika much a biggest way. Know what's sweet to heart. Get I sing. Mambo tauno, sagi kanut, I am a howin, kapaspigano, akamemo, kanagati meto pina, sukanuma. Lagi itu kaya wika not to be this way. Know what's sweet to heart. Get I singing kaya wika not to be this way. Know what's sweet to heart. Get I singing. Know what's sweet to heart. Get I singing. Know what's sweet to heart. Get I singing. Thank you.
All good? Test. Alrighty, Masi Cho. Are we ready for lunch yet? Nope, no lunch yet. But a couple of announcements here. We're gonna close off the side door there. Yeah, we will no longer use the side door. So if you can shut that for me, please. There you go. Thank you. So if you want to leave in and out of the building here, please use the main entrance. No more using the side door. We've got security around too, around the building. And we're going to have lunch here very shortly, a few more minutes here. We're still getting ready. Yeah. I don't think we need them anymore. So for this afternoon's part of the agenda, we're going to have Roots of Anger, Mike Delano. That's going to be at 12:45. So lunch is going to go, let's say 5 more minutes. So 1 o'clock, we'll have to move that a bit. 1 o'clock, once we all have lunch. And then we're going to do a feedback session right after Delano Mike does his presentation. So that's going to be very interesting to hear from each and every one of you what you guys think of the men's conference. There's a lot of men here in attendance. Must-see show for being here. You know, as Vice Chief talked about here this morning, you know, we go to several conferences, and he's an MC too. And we joke about this, you know, usually used to saying, ladies and gentlemen, you know, because it's always the conferences are the backbone of MLTC, all the women that make this possible. Aho. And then after that, we've got Mr. Don Burnstick, Healing the Wounded Warrior. That's going to be at 2:30. So if you want a photo with Don Burnstick Day, you're going to have to come back at 2:30, be here all day. Maybe an autograph. He's going to do a presentation. And then for anybody that wants to do a sweat, there's going to be one available at 3 p.m. Anybody that wants to do a sweat, 3 p.m. I'm not sure who it is with, if it's a Cree or a Dene sweat or, you know, any of that good stuff, but it's all about ceremony and coming together. And then we're going to have a break at 3:30. Don Burnstick is going to take a break. And then 3:45 to 4:45, he's going to continue with his presentation, Healing the Wounded Warrior. That's going to be this afternoon. And then we're going to have some door prizes. So I'm going to find out if we're giving everything away. All this, Patricia? So this is all 3 days? Okay, these prizes for the next 3 days. Okay, you need to be here. We will not send it Canada Post, or we won't even give it to your cousin or uncle. You got to be here, they said. No taxi is picking up your door prize to take it up north either. And closing remarks. So that is for today. We've actually added some couple of presentation behind this tent over here. Dale Apsis, he works for SAS Prevention. He's going to do a little quick 10-minute presentation about his program and what he's done, what he does with the province of Saskatchewan. And then Patricia is going to come and talk about the Moose Hide campaign. I'm just going to go over, read what it says here. The Moose Hide campaign is a grassroots movement of Indigenous and non-Indigenous men and boys who are standing up against violence towards women and children. Wearing this moose hide signifies your commitment to honor, respect, and protect the women and children in your life. to work together with the other men and boys to end violence against women and children. Help spread the Moose Hide campaign by sharing with your family, communities, and organizations. To learn more about Moose Hide campaign, you can go to moosehidecampaign.ca. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all of the regular social media.
We're just working on all the door names for the door prizes, and Dale just went to the room to shower
Lunch.
and make sure everybody's signed up.
Okay. Lunch. If you haven't registered or signed up, please do so in the back there or the main entrance. Your name is going to go in for the door prizes. So, and then once again, we're going to keep the side door closed. Please use the main entrance. So, ego se, that is it. We wait for lunch. And anybody that's joining us online here, we're going to be coming back on at 1:00 p.m. We will bring the afternoon part of this men's conference. Aho, masicho.